Hey, we're here. No. Hello to you. We are back in business with the late night live. So once again, we are back for the fun, the confinable fun, or the great confined fun. The great confines of fun for the late night live streams now. We are back. We are back, starting right on time and bang on schedule. Hello to you all, wherever you may be. We've got a good three of you on here. So here we are. Who's that? Martin, hi Martin. Good to see you on here. Nice to see you, Martin. Before you ask, yes, this is one of my nocturnal live streams, as you so describe it. Nocturnal. Pamela, hello. Hi, Pamela Gaza. Hello to Pamela in Texas. And I would not say hello to you, Pamela, without giving you a big, nice long hug, as I think you quite like the nice long hugs, don't you? And Heidi, hello to you, Heidi. And oh, Nutmeg, gosh, you're early. Gosh, you're early in here. Hello to you. I'm doing much better, thank you, Pamela. I was just a bit worn yesterday evening, so that was what prompted me to reschedule. What? Just to tell not just you, Pamela, but I'm going to tell all of you who are in here right now. I want to tell you all. I want to tell all of you I'm in here right now. I was a bit worn and tired yesterday because I was initially going to do a late night live yesterday, but I was too tired. I was too worn and too tired to do it. So, as a result, I was like, do you know what? I'm just going to schedule it to the next night and to see how I am. But I'm doing better now tonight, and here is the late night schedule now. We are here now. But hello to you, Nutmeg, always. Oh, Pamela, it's always a pleasure. No, I'd always give you a nice long hug, always. Oh, hello to you, Jody. I do hope yours and Rita's walk works out all right. I mean, do look out for Rita and do make sure she's good to other dogs, Jody, because the last thing you'd want is Rita falling victim to a dog attack. But hoping yours and Rita's dog walk works out okay. You surprised yourself. Oh no, you're having internet issues. Oh no, Nutmeg. Well, hope the internet issues are resolved before too long. But sorry, darling, you've got internet issues. You know. Yeah. George's alive! Yes, yes. Hello to all of you. No, you want the light? You want the light from Flash Gordon? George's alive! That is the George's alive! Yes! My goodness! Honestly, I cannot get enough of the Brian Blessed. George's alive! George's alive! George's alive! George's alive! Marvelous! Yeah, and Martin is in the chat! Hopefully, Nutmeg's internet issues will be resolved, Heidi. You know, but poor Nutmeg. But please do be especially nice to our Nutmeg. No, really, seriously, do be especially nice to our Nutmeg because Nutmeg deals with poor health every day. Though she says, you know, you get on with it, well, that is always a good concept. That's the right concept. But still, one should always have empathy to those who live every single day with poor health. You know, I mean, Nutmeg is not the only person I know who lives every single day with poor health. I actually knew somebody in my family who lived every single day with poor health. That person was my late grandfather Edmund, as he lived every single day with poor health for the latter 20 odd years of his life. I mean, over 20 years prior to when he got diagnosed with the thrombocythemia, which was in fact the final nail in the coffin, before he died, and well, the final nail in the coffin for his overall poor health he was generally living with. You know, all I can do, especially having known of this, and especially having known somebody who lived every single day with poor health, the only thing I can well and truly represent is utmost empathized sympathy to those who live every day in poor health. That's all I can only represent to those who live every day in poor health. Thank you, Martin. Thank you. As bad as it sounds, I'd not want to suffer yourself. If I've already lived a good life, that would be okay with me. Hello to you, Thomas. Hello to you, Tommy, good friend. Hello. Hello. A fan club. Oh, hi, Sea Gypsy. Hello to you, Sea Gypsy. Hello. And Pamela, if you're still here, Pamela, I was surprised learning you've got a large tractor. I didn't realize you had a big, large tractor. I suppose your big, large tractor would probably be a little bit big for me, but interesting learning you've got a big, large tractor, Pamela, because you were telling me about it when I saw the agricultural tractors in the Hillingly Festival of Transport 2024 event, which I've been going to every year since 2022. I've been going to this event for quite a while now, Pamela, so 2024 was not the first time that I went to uh to Hillingly Festival of Transport. Martin, good question. On the Sunday, I had a family dinner to attend to, which unfortunately was a bit of a curtailment for event attending. But other than that, it was worth attending to the family commitment, and that came at the utmost importance, the family meal. But it was a bit disappointing I couldn't go to the model rail, but nice that I went to the family meal. Fordson Major. Matt, hello to you, Matt. Hello. It's a big, strong one. Oh, so quite likely a bit big for me. It's probably rather big for my 5'8" and 154-pound frame, which is unfortunate, which, as you know, is small built and small frame, certainly for a man. But I'm happy with it. I'm happy with small. That's what I'm happy with. I don't know if one could describe me as a little man. I don't think that's the right terminology to describe me, but I think a small man trying to have a ride on the big, strong tractor of yours, probably a little big for me. But maybe a little big for me. But all I could do is try driving it. Your grandmother has three Massey Fergusons. Two of them are derelict. Oh gosh. But interesting learning your grandmother has three Massey Fergusons. But I didn't realize your grandmother is still alive, Tommy. How interesting learning of it. I have a huge thank you, Samantha, thank you. You had a Massey Ferguson too, Matt. How interesting. You love it since it's air conditioned. Your husband was attacked by bees on your previous tractor that had an open cab. Oh gosh, Pamela, oh gosh. I'm so sorry hearing about your dearly loved husband being attacked by bees. Also has an old rover under a sheet that hasn't been touched for many, many years. How interesting, Tommy, how interesting. Your dad had a Ferguson video star. How interesting, Martin, interesting. Your dad had a Fergie and a Davy Brown. Now that's very interesting, Samantha. Very interesting. If you can drive it, I could too. Oh, thank you, Pamela. Well, as big as your tractor may well be, it'd probably take a bit of, might have to convince me a little, but I think with your unconditional, lovingly friendly side, I think it could be just enough to convince me to drive it. You know, your supportively, unconditional, lovingly friendly side, Pamela. I think it'll probably be enough to just about convince me to drive it, in spite of its big, large size. You know. The old, you know. But always a nice long hug to you, always, Pamela. No, I'd always give you a nice long hug. Oh. And many best wishes to the grandchildren too, because you and your grandchildren were listening to some of my inspirational chats when I was reading the cat book recently and all that. But a small man as I am, Pamela, do be assured it generally never stops me living life to the full. As a small 5'8" and 11 stone or 154-pound man, it never stops me living life to the full to tell you of things, most assuredly, speaking of things. Would go with our Fend can I don't know that one, uh, Matt. I know, I know that, Samantha. Yes, I know. I know it's going to be extremely cold. Do be assured I'll be putting on an extra jumper underneath my thick jumpers. Well, I already am wearing an extra jumper, but I'll need to wear two extra jumpers if I'm going out. And certainly will it warrant not only a hat and scarf or gloves, but a big duffel coat. And fortunately for me, I've got a big brown winter duffel coat. Fortunately enough, Samantha. You have a brand new grandson, just 5 weeks old. Oh, how lovely. How lovely. Oh, wow, Martin, that's interesting. You went to the royal wedding of Andrew and Fergie in 1986. I know they got married in 1986, and I know all about their wedding when it took place in 1986, years before they got divorced. They had they had their two daughters, Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie, and you obviously remember the times of their births and things. Fend make tractors. They also do a nice lineup of high-end caravans. How interesting. I'm just going to look something up real quickly. Oh yes, interesting brand of tractors they make. Gonna hibernate, a good idea. It's here on Wednesday, 40. Oh gosh, cold. 40s Fahrenheit is cold. Cold, 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 cold. Oh gosh. No, and especially if you're somebody like me who feels the cold a lot. I mean, even in 77-degree Fahrenheit weather, I'm still fairly nippy to cold in that weather. But fortunately, it's not winter cold to me, 77 Fahrenheit, but it's cold enough to wear just a shirt, a lightweight jumper or lightweight cardigan, and uh, and a reasonably lightweight jacket, and certainly not duffel. It's 3 degrees, bloody hell! Oh gosh, 3 degrees. Oof, I can't bear 3 degree weather. That's too cold. No, 3 degree weather is just as bitterly cold, and I can't bear that. I can seldom bear that. I can hardly even bear minus. Too cold. Much, much, much too cold. No, that is, it's not only is it history, but it's a very nice, enchanted lifetime experiences and all the rest of things, Pamela, to tell you all things. No, no, but I think even if I was in Texas and if it was 77 Fahrenheit, but not if it went over that, I would still be wearing my shirt, jumper, and coat. And I'd alternate between different trousers, either black trousers or yellow beige and black brogues, quite likely, you know. And I think yellow beige trousers, certainly in my opinion, go well with black brogues. You've been watching Rivals on Disney Plus. It's about the ITV franchise tribulations from the 1980s. How wonderful. How interesting. Disney Plus has its useful uses, Martin. And one thing I would recommend you watch on Disney Plus, Martin. This may or may not appeal to your interest, but I would thoroughly recommend watching Star Wars The Bad Batch on Disney Plus. I mean, I would watch it any day, Star Wars The Bad Batch. I'd recommend it to anybody. Not cold here yet. Short sleeves today. Lucky you. Right, wait a moment. I need to look up Texas weather. Wait a moment. Wait a. It's nippy in Texas. What? I mean, 70 for it only to be what 81-degree Fahrenheit weather, and then the next day about 68. That's nippy and cold. I mean, that's nippy and cold. It actually doesn't look all that hot to me, or only in the 70s or 76. But 83 Fahrenheit is sort of getting to be on the hot side when you go this time next week. And 81 is sort of on the fairly hot side, but really not. It really doesn't look all that hot to me, Texas-wise, when just looking at its weather. Cold, sort of fairly nippy to fairly cold and all that. So lucky you that you could cope with short sleeves in the current Texas weather, Pamela. Lucky you. Lucky you. I'd be in my complete long sleeves. But never mind. But I'm sure, but I don't know if you feel the cold or not, Pamela, but lucky you if you're wearing short sleeves. Hello to Lorraine. Hello to you. You've been giggling at Grace and Frankie. Oh, Samantha, you do like funny things, don't you? Oh my goodness. Hello to you, Rachel. Hello, it's certainly been a while. Hello, Rachel. Ring a Mikey. Hello to you. Yo. Oh, yo. Hello to you, Ringer Mikey. I know, Rachel. Yes, it certainly has been a great while. But welcome back. Welcome back, Rachel. Certainly welcome back indeed, for sure. I don't know if I've ever heard from you before, Ringer Mikey, but I'm guessing you've been subscribed but seldom commented. But welcome, welcome all the same, Ringer Mikey. Welcome. It's just the first time hearing from you. Or I may have heard from you, but you may have come under a different channel username. I mean, if you did have a different channel username, could you please tell me, Ringer Mikey, so that I know who you are for future reference? Thank you. Dang, you've ruined your fantasy. Martin? In what way could Martin have ruined your fantasy? You know, I've always been ringing my. Okay, thank you for telling me. Thank you. Hello, Fluffy. Hello to you. Your first time on a live, that is. But it's certainly not the first time you've commented, but the first time you've come on a live, that is. Hello to you. And of course, C Gypsy, who has been on a live stream before, but because of the restriction and how long she'd been subscribed at the time, she couldn't comment until this live stream. But it's wonderful seeing you both share comment first time on a live, but obviously not first time on a video. But how about a nice long hug to you, Sea Gypsy? And also Sea Gypsy. It's very funny what Sea Gypsy came under the impression of. Sea Gypsy came under the impression when she said, I have something in common with you. You're the same height as me at 5'6". I was like, Sea Gypsy, I'm actually 5'8", not 5'6". But but interesting. I said, but one thing you do have in common with Sea Gypsy is you have got something in common with some of my family relatives, as I've got quite a few 5'6" family relatives to tell you of things. I've even got some who are under 5'6" to tell you of things, which is shorter than that of the two Pamelas, just to say, because both Pamelas on here are taller than I, believe this or not, but we're all different. We're all different. And obviously, the Pamela in Texas has obviously quite likely got a tall husband, quite presumably so. But Tommy and Matt on here, they're over 6 foot. So they're taller than I at 6'2" and 6'3", respectively. And all that. But no, unfortunately, Sea Gypsy, if you're 5'6", I'm taller than you. So I wouldn't be your height, I'd be taller. I'm afraid, but never mind. Never mind. We're all different, Sea Gypsy, and that's if we were all the same, Life would be extremely boring, if above and beyond anything. Hello to you, Anton. Hello, hello, hello to you. Uh, oh, right. Well, Tommy, Matt's got a question for you. Hello to Anton indeed. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you. It's been cold recently. Well, if you see here, Rachel, I've got an extra layer, and I've also got a vest on additionally under here. So it's been cold, so I've got a good few layers on. But thank you. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you. And you are always lovely, friendly, and warm too. How long ago did this live stream start? I've been live streaming for just over 20 minutes. I've been live streaming for nearly 21 minutes now, Mikey, if it answers your very questioning. Layering is goon. Yeah. Uh, you like it when it snows. When it snows, it gets nothing but far too cold. I mean, it's good to take some picturesque photographs and things to remember the snowy moments, but the real issue, Samantha, certainly in my on my scale and in my life and in my end, it's not so good weather-wise because of how cold it gets, and certainly taking into account me feeling the cold an awful lot, or far more easily than a lot of people that I know, it doesn't always help when it's that because of how cold it is when it snows. So actually even when it snows, I actually put about two scarves on if I'm out if it's snowing because of how cold it is. You don't like the snow, don't like being stuck indoors all the time. Neither do I, see Gypsy, neither do I. Variety is the spice of life. I totally agree, but the real problem, Pamela, the real problem to tell you of things, the real problem is that there are people who think it's okay to make rude comments about one's differences. That's the serious, real problem. But I'm with you 100% totally, Pamela. Variety is the spice of life, and I'm in full agreement with you on that. Your kids can make the snowmen now, and you can watch out the window. 59 now, feel the cold more than you used to. I've felt the cold quite a long time now, but I certainly feel it more than I've ever done. I'm certainly one of them, Rachel. But it happens to us, unfortunately, as we get older for age. There we are. We get older, we just don't bounce like we used to. This has happened with me, as I've so experienced, Pamela, in life. We just don't bounce like we used to. And one thing to reference your example, Pamela, is to reference your very given example or showcased example, if one could so directly explain. You know, like saying we don't bounce like we used to. I cannot run like I can't run anymore. I mean, well, I can run, but I cannot run far anymore. I mean, let alone cannot run fast enough anymore. So if I'm going after ladies or any young girls, unfortunately, I cannot run fast enough if I'm trying to catch them up. Most unfortunately, even having 30-inch legs, well, 30 inside legs, and a small 30-inch waist, I sadly cannot run fast enough. Well, I mean, well, it's not all that long, really. A 30 inside leg, which is what I've got, and a 30 waist that is actually fairly small for a man. Well, certainly in this day and age. I mean, even though it really shouldn't be, but much to my surprise, it is considered rather small now for a man to have a 30-inch waist, which is what I've got. But it's bigger than my mother's waist, to tell oneself odd things. Says to a lady who's got a waist size no bigger than a 27, 28-inch, something like that. So one could, by and large, describe my mother as quite small to fairly petite. Well, she is fairly small to fairly petite, certainly if you see her, and certainly not that neither all that tall either. But never mind. You hate all the trolls. So do I, Martin. I hate all the trolls as well. I'm the one to deflect the trolls and all that. Yeah. Pamela is right on that, Rachel. She's completely right on what affects us when we get older. And also one thing that that affects us as we get older is weight gain. That's another thing that affects us when we get older. And to reference something when Pamela said to you, Rachel, that we just don't bounce like we used to, was is to tell you something rather astonishing, Rachel. But I don't think you know this now at the moment. But I'll tell you now anyway. I used to be I used to weight wise up until 2021. This was until 2021. I used to be very, very petite, weighing only 130 pounds. Up until 2021, I was very, very petite, weighing 130 pounds up until a few years ago, but now I'm 154 pounds. So to reference Pamela's example, saying we just don't bounce like we used to compared to our younger days, you know, this is one example to say that we just don't bounce like we used to. Weight gain and my 24-pound weight gain. Weight gain, it's so hard to lose. And yes, I mean, I've hardly ever gone under 154 pounds. To reference your example, see, Gypsy, it doesn't matter, even if I've eaten less than I normally do, I really don't go under 154 pounds now. It's only if I've been ill I can go under 154 pounds, but other than that, I hardly ever go under 154 pounds now. No, but my ideal weight for my height, Sea Gypsy. I mean, I hope I've not caused you any offence when saying this, or talking about what previous weight I used to be. But to be honest with you, I was too thin back then. It wouldn't look good on me now if I was that weight now. But but my ideal weight range for a 5'8" man, because I'm obviously that height, is 154 to 160 pounds, which is my ideal weight, just to say. That's right, you love Australia. You got to go in 2016, you went to Australia. How interesting. Going to be a hot weekend. I'd rather have your weather than the weather we've got here, Fluffy. I'd rather have your hot Australian weather than the cold British weather. It even can be quite nippy, even in the summer. Even the summers in the United Kingdom and England are generally by and large not hot enough. I mean, we do sometimes get a passing heat wave from time to time in the British summers, but we really, by and large, don't get hot enough summers in the United Kingdom. Oh, Pamela, thank you for saying I'm funny. I don't always realize how funny I am, or I don't even think I'm funny until people tell me and all that. So thank you for your kindly reminder. Oh, Deborah's here. Hello to you, Deborah. Hello, hello, hello to you. You have a bucket list, as do I too. Heidi, I've got a bucket list as well. Before I die, my bucket list is to go to the Festiniog Steam Railway, Llangollen Steam Railway, and of course the Barla Lake Steam Railway. That's that's my complete bucket list. Those are certainly on my bucket list for sure. Going to Australia after Christmas. Good luck with your holiday, and I hope you get some nice hot weather and some nice hot sunshine when you go, see Gypsy. I mean, I'd be careful where I go in Australia. I wouldn't go somewhere where it's far too hot, because there is certain hot temperatures I wouldn't be able to, it wouldn't knit well with me. And also, one thing I do have to be careful with, see Gypsy, despite being prone to feeling the cold more, I am fairly prone I am fairly prone to being sunburnt, unfortunately. Because can I show you something just to say, see, Gypsy? If you look at my arm here and the skin, I'm quite fair skinned, you see. And because I've got such fair skin, I get sunburnt quite easily. Well, actually, if I show you all of my arm, now, if I show you all of my arm, though small and skinny arm as it is, um, actually, if I pull it back a little, small and skinny arm as I've got, this is how I do get sunburnt quite easily, unfortunately. So I do unfortunately get quite sunburnt because I've got fair skin, or taking into account the light fair skin that I've got and all that. You have a bucket list too. Was just able to check off, see a total eclipse of the sun. How interesting. How interesting. Total eclipse of the sun. It's always an interesting sight. You're fair skinned too and get sunburnt easily, as do I. But one thing that is surprising, despite being a grown man, as a man, I've got a rather small arm, as you could see. This is what my arm would look like, Sea Gypsy. Well, this is what, just to tell you, Sea Gypsy, before you say, or to tell you something, this is what 154 pounds on a 5'8" frame gives you. Small, skinny arms, but you know, it's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. Rachel, oh, wow. I won't say the other word because I would probably get into trouble if I say the other word. But oh gosh, heaviest you've been 16 stone. I think I knew a lady, a friend of mine, who who's the same height as Sea Gypsy at only 5'6". At only 5'6" of height, Rachel, my friend was about 16 and a half, 17 stone. So can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? And my friend Sapper, he was about 17 stone back in about April of 2024. But I need to be careful going too deeply into it because I could get into trouble if I go far too deeply into it. Travelled through South Australia in a motorhome back in 2016. How interesting. Nobody cares about anything you ever do, but you're glad to talk to me. You're worthless. You said, no, you're not worthless. Martin, not only would I tell you that you're not worthless, Harriet, Jody, Pamela, Sea Gypsy, Samantha, Jody, Fluffy, Anton, all of us would tell you that you are not worthless. Yes, Jody, that is not true. Martin is certainly not worthless at all. He's a wonderful friend, and his friendship gives value to us, doesn't it, Jody? So thank you for reminding him. His friendship gives all of us a valuable reason to reminds us of the valuable reason of making acquainted friendships with newfound friends. That's what it represents, the epitomized distinction towards and all that, you know. Thank you, Anton, thank you. But I guess the thing that we do have something in common with, Sea Gypsy, is we get sunburnt easily. That's something we certainly got in common with. But unfortunately, you were wrong to assume we had something in common height-wise, because because um because 5'6" is not my height, but never mind. But to tell you something very surprising, Sea Gypsy, my two surviving elderly grandparents, they are only 5'2" and 5'3", respectively. You're talking very short ladies, my grandparents, at 5'2" and 5'3", respectively. So can you imagine that? You know. so so yes, where I come from, Sea Gypsy, it's a short family where I come from. Well, small family, that is, because my mother's never been tall. But I mean, most of my relatives, I'm taller than most of my relatives, despite only being 5'8" of height. But to tell you something but there are a few relatives who are taller than me, though, but only 5 are taller than I. That's excluding in-laws. Only 5 are taller than I. But who is that who's taller than I? My father, he's taller than I. At 5'9", he's taller than I. And my brother, he's about the same height as my father. So they're two referenced examples of relatives who are taller than I. And 3 cousins are taller than I. And they're all, no, the 3 cousins who are taller than I, they're 6 foot, 6'1.5", and 6'2", respectively. So I have got a few taller relatives, but most are shorter than I, at 5'6" and under. Martin, we are all pieces of my YouTube jigsaw. Oh, Samantha, you're so lovely. No, no, don't worry, see, Gypsy. You're totally fine. Of course, all of us make mistakes. It's part of being human. We are human. All humans make mistakes. No worries on that. And you misheard. No worries, no worries at all. No worries and no trouble at all. No trouble at all, see, Gypsy. No, no trouble at all. Martin certainly is a good guy. You're completely right, Jody, and I agree with you 100% wholeheartedly. You as in Elizabeth Atdade Butler Perth, how interesting. No, I know you're not a robot, Samantha. I know that thoroughly well. Mhm. And all that. Let's see, Gypsy. If I was cozy enough, I would definitely give you a hug to try and warm you up in the cold winter season. If I was cozy enough, I'd give you a big, nice, long hug to try and warm you up. But unfortunately, I feel the cold just like you. Well, I don't know if you feel it on the same scale as I do, but I just probably wouldn't be cozy enough to keep you warm if I gave you a cuddle and a hug and all that. No. No, but hopefully, hopefully you've got cozy friends. Hopefully, see, Gypsy, you've got some cozy friends you can cuddle up to, or hug and snuggle up to when it's frozen cold. Whenever you're seeing friends and all that. You love my late night chats. Thank you, Samantha. I enjoy doing them. You know, not only is it useful because it's useful for those in the United States of America and Canada and also Australia too. It's useful for them. It's useful for them to watch and all that. You're already in bed and snuggled up under your blankets. Oh, that's useful, see, Gypsy. How useful. At least you're snuggled up in your bed and blankets. No. But I think obviously if you were out of them, you'd need someone to snuggle up to and all that. Someone cozy, that is. This is true, Samantha. We certainly do all care about each other. We certainly do. This is what we do here in this community. We all care for one another and we also all look out for one another. And that is certainly the philosophy that we all go and stick by. I have international appeal. Oh, thank you, Anton. I like to think so, but thank you for saying so. Thank you. We already said hello to you, Martin, and it's always above and beyond anything, Martin. It's always wonderful having you on here. Always, and I mean that. It- Thank you, Sea Gypsy. Thank you. Thank you for your friendliness towards Anton. Thank you. What's my time in the UK? It's 11:30 a.m. where you are. It's nearly 1 o'clock in the U. It's just 5 minutes to 1 UK time. Fluffy, if it answers your question. Yes, it's always glad having Martin in here. It's nearly 9 p.m. in Cape Breton. Oh gosh, wow. At least you're having a nice evening watching my content or watching the live stream, see Gypsy. And also hello in their absence, hello to Janet and Pamela in their absence. That's Pamela Morrow I'm referring to. I mean, and we love our Pamela Morrow, don't we? And Pamela Morrow, like Jodie and Sea Gypsy, is Canada. based, just to say. And Heather in Ontario too. She is Canada based. No. But Janet, on the other hand, is Kentucky based. But Janet's been having a pneumonia ordeal. Poor lady. Really impressed by my memory. Oh, thank you, Samantha. Thank you. Ooh. If you stop talking, then you've dozed off to sleep. Oh, I did. That's an interesting thing I've learned about you just now, Sea Gypsy. Interesting. Sometimes that happens to me. No, but Sea Gypsy, right now I just want to give you a nice long hug. You're always so lovely, aren't you, Sea Gypsy? You're always so lovely. And from the moment I first heard from you, I just knew we were almost instantly in for a friendship. Really, you've got a great memory too. It's a good thing to have a good memory. Many people have good memories, many people don't always have the greatest of memories. No, but I just want to give you a nice long hug, Sea Gypsy. I really do. And I knew from the moment we first became acquainted with one another, I knew we were in for a strong friendship before our very eyes. I love you dearly, Sea Gypsy. I really do. A nice, nice long hug always. Oh, thank you, Sea Gypsy. Thank you. A nice long hug to you always. I mean, I'd be able to give you a nice long protective hug, couldn't I? Thank you, Martin. Yes, referencing Samantha's sentiment, if you do happen to fall asleep, Sea Gypsy, then sweet dreams. But we still got you at the moment. No, but I'd give you a nice long protective hug any day. And I'm sure your taller friends always give you a nice long protective hugs, those who are taller than yourself and all that. I'm sure you get many protective hugs from your taller friends, Sea Gypsy. I'm sure they're probably the protective hugs you see in the movies and all that, with two good friends or family relatives. Well, the taller ones giving the shorter ones a protective hug. My eyes drooping. Well, they may be drooping slowly, Jody, but give it about another 2 hours and then we should be fine. You're a bit of a recluse. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Oh dear. Oh dear. 2 hours. Give it a good 2 hours, yes, before my eyes are fully drooped off and all that. Oh goodness. And I must say, we're nearly heading into the American Thanksgiving territory, as truth has things, you know. So that's going to be some excitement. You have a great passion about the sea. You love the notion of a lighthouse. A lighthouse, seeing a lighthouse by the sea, always makes an appealing picture above and beyond anything. You have been to the Dominican Republic in 1999. Would never go again. Couldn't drink the water and pizza. Was this Dominican Republic in Italy you're talking about, Deborah? And I was just wondering if you're still here or not, Deborah. But not to worry if you were lurking in the background. But I know Santa Domenica, which is Italy, and Calabria in Italy. You live by the sea and lots of lighthouses. You love lighthouses. How interesting learning of this, Sea Gypsy. How interesting learning of this from you. I imagine you get a great view seeing the lighthouses and all that in your seaside town. Squid pizza. Squid pizza. Now that does seem a little bit gruesome, squid pizza. But I prefer a I mean, if any squid meal I was to have, Deborah and Samantha, I would only go for a squid salad than I would a squid salad or a squid pasta meal than a squid pizza. I would not go for a squid pizza because it does make it sound a bit gruesome, doesn't it? Should come and see our Portland Bill Lighthouse. Best location in the UK, in your opinion? Okay. Okay, Matt. Thank you for your recommendation. Thank you. Thank you. You often go to Prince Edward Island. It's a truly magical place. I've heard of Prince Edward Island. I've heard of it. My friend has been there many times. See, Gypsy, my friend Heather. She's been to Prince Edward Island many times in over several periods of her lifetime and all that. She would tell you all about Prince Edward Island. Since she's been, having been many times herself, she'd tell you about it. And also, see, Gypsy, since we've got Deborah on here, she too has got something in common with you height-wise, being a 5'6" lady like yourself. And but the sweet thing about lovely Deborah is that she's got a little girl for a daughter who's only a mere 5'2", to tell you odd things. But to tell you something rather astonishing, see, Gypsy, um, Deborah knew a man who was a full 7 foot. So can you imagine that? And can you imagine what 5'6" and 7 foot would look like? You know, I mean, I don't even know anybody who's 7 foot. I think the tallest I know is about 6'6" to 6'8", something like that. But 7 foot, oh goodness, 7 foot. But there was a man here in England who was 7'6". So can you imagine that? Of course you're a worthy person, Martin. Of course you are. Don't be so hard on yourself, as Harriet would so tell you. Oh, do sleep well, Samantha. Do sleep well. You take care, won't you? I wouldn't say good night without giving you a cuddle, but sleep well, lovely. Sleep well. Thank you, Anton. Thank you for your friendliness towards Samantha. Thank you. We love you too, Samantha. And thank you, Jody, for your friendliness towards Samantha. Thank you. It's not time yet, it's not time, but I need to scroll up because I missed a question now. Where is my lovely looking cat, Daphne? She's adorable. Daphne, she'd be sleeping upstairs, quite likely. Fluffy, she'd be sleeping in a different room. Yes, are you having a bad day, Martin, as Jody was asking? And yes, is there any way we can help you, as Jody has so been suggestively asking? And all that. Oh, Dave is in. Hello to you, Dave. Hello, hello, hello to you. Thank you, Anton. Thank you for your friendliness towards Dave. Thank you. Don't worry, Martin. Martin, we all have bad days at times, so don't worry. But I'm sorry hearing you've not had a great day. But please, it's not a crime to have a bad day. We all have bad days at times. Don't worry, Dave. Please, don't you worry about a thing. No worries at all. No worries at all. Certainly no worries at all whatsoever. And you've said some very nice things about me, Dave. We all have bad days, Mart. This is true, Sea Gypsy. No, Sea Gypsy. Thank you for supporting Martin right now. Thank you. Thank you. No, really, thank you for being so supportive towards Martin, my lovely. I think right now, I think if Martin was in your neck of the woods, I think he'd just want to give you a nice long hug, if above and beyond anything, and all that, you know. Oh, thank you, Martin. As are you. You're a good person too. You're a very good person too. You have bad days too, and you struggle at times with self-worth and a lack of confidence. This can happen to me sometimes, Sea Gypsy. This can happen to me, but I can remember a time where I felt it quite a lot once, and that was before I met my bestie, David. Things will get better, good sir. Just a little time and patience, these things shall pass. This is very, very true, Dave. Very true. And Martin would certainly very much appreciate it. Dave, he certainly would appreciate your philosophical insight. He would certainly appreciate it most greatly in every way, and all that. And though we're missing Marcia, because I think you've noticed we're missing Mr. and Mrs. Tom's, which is Marcia and her dearly, where you know, we're only missing Mr. and Mrs. Tom's, but not to worry. They can't always make it. They can't always make it, but never mind. Never mind. But hello to you, Marcia, and hello to you, to your dearly loved husband, and of course not forgetting Master Wookie, Lady Lily, and little girl Sky. Hello to them all. But please don't you worry about missing this live stream. It's certainly no issue. No trouble at all. No trouble at all. There's always the replay for all of you to watch on. It's a pleasure always, Martin. Clappe dem cheeks. Hello to you, Clappe dem cheeks. Hello. But you retracted your message. But hello to you, Clappe. Hello. I don't think this is a troll because this person subscribed. We live in a world now where everything is all about having to be perfect. I know there's no need. Nobody's perfect, and there's no need for the world to want to sleepwalk into something like that. There's totally no need. Totally no need. We're not perfect. You can't expect anybody to be perfect. There's no need for the world to sleepwalk into such a thing like that, you know. It's a pleasure always, Martin. We're happy having you being a part of my community. It's a pleasure having you being a part of my community. And no, you didn't, Dave. No, you got a new kitten last Monday. Oh, that is wonderful. Is it a boy or a girl? I mean, I'd love to see the kitten. I'd love to see a video of the kitten. And how wonderful learning you've got a new kitten, Dave, because I know the loss of your previous cat affected you deeply. Are we living in a world where sex and horror are the real gods? I well and truly hope not. I well and truly hope not, Martin. Well, horror we have been seeing in the world quite a lot, haven't we? Downturns completely, and worsening instability with geopolitical politics. Yes, we've seen that. So things have really gone downhill in the world recently. To tell you on things, she's about 4 months old. She's a long-haired kitty. She's black and grey. You named her Chloe. She's a sweetheart. Oh, little Chloe. Oh, welcome to Dave's home confines, little Chloe. Oh, I mean, I'm happy learning she's a sweetheart. She must melt your heart, Dave, as Daphne melted my heart when we newly got her. Same with Nixie too, when we newly got her as well. I totally agree, Matt. She sounds certainly by and large completely perfect too. When you was young, being left-handed was wrong, but you didn't change. Oh gosh. Oh gosh, I mean, I'm right-handed on the other hand. No, I don't have a lot of consciousness on my left hand, unfortunately. I mean, to reference an example to you, Deborah, well, I can hold an object in my left hand, but I'm not always very conscious of holding it. Whereas, say, if I hold something in my right hand, I'm much more conscious of I'm much more conscious of what I'm holding. So I'm therefore, in that case, very, very right-handed. You know, I'm not a lefty, unfortunately, for hand consciousness, and I'm certainly not multidextrous either. I mean, I'm not the most. I don't have the greatest of dexterity, even though I've got better consciousness in my left hand than I do in my right hand than I do in my left. I don't have a lot of dexterity in my hands, not the greatest of dexterity. So I wouldn't say my dexterity is poor, but it's not brilliant. Well, because I've got small, dainty hands, I don't have the greatest of dexterity in them. But but it's unfortunately that's the genetics I've inherently got, small hands and all that. Because my mother has got very, not only small, she's got fairly tiny, petite, dainty hands, to tell oneself on things. You're also a southpaw. You used to get smacked with a ruler in school when you was young. Didn't change you either. Oh, gosh, wow. Your Daisy's father was a feral cat. How interesting. Chloe says, hi, back to Braveheart. How interesting. How interesting. Oh, yes, and your cat, you've got a cat, I know, Pamela Braveheart, yes. And of course, Pamela Motto has got two cats, Miles and Penny. You learn to write in both, you have small hands too. Yep, so do I. So do I. This goes to prove what a small man I am, Deborah, but you learn to write in both hands. Oh, gosh. You know. Even my late grandfather Edmund, though he was a petite man, he had fairly small hands, but his hands, despite the fact that he was a very petite man, despite the fact that he had a very petite frame and it was an overall petite man, and not to mention short as well, he had slightly bigger hands than what I had, astonishingly, in the transparency of everything. Oh, goodness. Oh, Harriet's in. Hello to you, Harriet. Hello. I think you have a small, dainty mouth. Actually, in fact, you've got a big mouth because of your cheeky behavioural traits. The big mouth that you got. Yes, Harriet is here, Matt. She certainly is here for sure. Well, you are small and petite as you are, Harriet. You've got a big mouth despite all of that. Your friend Chloe and her mother at where he works took Chloe and he took the mother. They were both a wonderful awesome kitties. I can well and truly imagine, Dave. I can well and truly imagine. Thank you, Hailey. Thank you for your friendliness towards Harriet. Thank you. Thank you. All cats should have a loving home. Too right, Pamela, too right. We just chuck our unconditional love towards Daphne and Nixie. All of us do, particularly my mother. I mean, Daphne and Nixie mean particularly so much to my mother, to tell you all things and all. I imagine your cat gets a lot of hugs and cuddles from you, Pamela. Well, you would make a good hug and cuddle, wouldn't you? You'd certainly make a nice protective hug, wouldn't you? You know, certainly if I'd hugged you and all that. But I imagine your cat Braveheart, gets lots of hugs and cuddles from you. You couldn't live without a cat in the house. Oh, how lovely learning of this, Matt. I mean, to reference some examples from you, I couldn't imagine what life would be like without Daphne and Nixie. I couldn't imagine what life would be like without them. In the way how Trevor Colt was very, very greatly affected when his dog Zeus unfortunately died last year. Lots of baseball players are southpaws. Really? Oh, wow. Now that little did I realize this, Deborah. Little did I realize this. You felt completely empty after Psycho. So glad that you have that spot filled again. No, no. When you've lost your pets, life can feel very empty. Thank you, Pamela. Thank you. Thank you. I'm happy. Thank you for saying those very, very nice words towards me. It was very nice of you to have said so. Thank you. I like to think that Daphne and Nixie are very lucky to have me and my family looking after them too. I like to think exactly the same thing. Switch hitters are valuable players. How interesting. You used to be a switch hitter when you played baseball. I couldn't even play baseball, unfortunately. I used to play rounders, but I couldn't play it now. Obviously, why? Oh, you're obviously going to know. Obviously, you're going to probably know why I can't play rounders now, or let alone baseball. So, and I used to play football years ago, but which is soccer in the Canadian and American neck of the woods. Why I couldn't play now? I couldn't run fast enough, and I certainly couldn't run for long enough to play it now. No, I really couldn't. No, no, no. When I got into my latter teens, I became what you call a little bit more ungainly as I got into my mid to latter teens, which affected how far and how long I could run for. So, so I couldn't play baseballs or rounders now, unfortunately. But never mind. This is what happens as you get older for age. Old age, unfortunately, all of you. Old age. Yeah. Hard thing to contemplate, too, but one comes to terms with it eventually. Thank you, Martin. As are you. As are you, Martin. You too are a lovely girl, a lovely guy as well. As are you. You know, tell me about it, Pamela. Do tell me about it. Happens to the best of us. Do tell me about it. No. Do tell me about it. No. No, I'd empathize with anybody who would talk of those things. No, I'd probably I think Pamela and I would probably both be giving each other a nice long a nice long hug talking about things like this. And we'd be, "Oh, but it's okay. Well, as long as we're so long as we're good people, that's all that matters. Doesn't matter if we can no longer do some of the things we used to do. What matters is in the heart and what's in the captivated depths of our personality traits. Used to play bowling. You'd put your big mouth on the grass and people would roll the ball and that is funny. No, I think I got to say it again. One, two, three. George and July. And now, I think Martin's now suggested I give the song again. And now, people are talking about Gordon's will. The Gordon I knew is dead and buried. But I think the opposite. I'd say, Gordon's alive! Yes! My goodness! Gordon's alive! Gordon's alive! Gordon's alive! Marvelous! Droopy eyes at the one. I'm past 1 hour, Harriet. I'm past the 1 hour. But give it another hour, Harriet. Give it another hour. You used to bat right and catch right. Don't know why, shrug. That is quite a shrug in a way. Deborah, quite a well shutting. That would be taken two ways. Well shut. Harriet is being silly. Well, she's more cheeky than silly. If you're I think I just turned up the volume louder. But well, I think Harriet was being more cheeky than silly Martin, just to explain things. But we love her all the same. No, come on, Harriet. No, come on, Harriet. If you want to please feel free to cuddle up if you so want to. We always love your company. You can always cuddle up with any of us in here, especially Pamela, because she'd make a nice protective hug and cuddle to you, Harriet. She'd make a nice protective hug and cuddle, especially since she's taller than you. She'd easily be able to give you a nice long protective hug, like they do in the movies and all that. So we wouldn't mind if you cuddled up with any of us. Same with Heather, she wouldn't mind either, because she says, "Oh, my focus is being loving to others and all that," which is a wonderful philosophy that she has and things, you know. Everyone here is so kind, as are you, Pamela, as are you too. You're always here. You fall asleep not at your finest. You fell asleep not at your finest. Happy to see my partner in wit. Yes, you two are partners in wit, aren't you? I totally agree with you two on that. And all this, you know. And things. But give it about another hour and then we're going to wrap things up. Going to make a new avatar, make a big mouth. No, but Harriet, I did want to say something. I did try and download your gate sound effect, but unfortunately the downloading didn't work. Unfortunately, the downloading didn't work, sadly. I tried about 4 times to download it, but it didn't work, sadly. No, I wish it did, but unfortunately it didn't. But never mind, never mind. Used to bowl, was always in the gutter. I haven't bowled for a long time now, Deborah. I haven't played bowling for a very long time now, so I think I'll probably be in that gutter now. In the gutter. Oh dear. Oh gosh, I'm getting it. You miss seeing Graham and Fiona's flapper party, but you watched a replay. What fun. I was in it. I was in it. I made my appearance and I tried to improvise as best as I could to look as properly 1920s as I could. But I made an appearance momentarily on the live stream and all that. Oh, thank you, Pamela. Thank you. I did try my best to look 1920s, but thank you. Thank you. Damned. Oh, Harriet. It was fun, I looked. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Fluffy. Thank you. Your mind is always in the gutter. Oh, your mind is always in the cheekiness, if I would say so, Harriet. Your mind is all. You've always got the mind of an average 7-year-old cheekiness. All that gate, arrow gate. Yet no, Harriet is funny. Cheeky as she is, cheeky as she is, cheeky as Harriet is, she is certainly funny, to tell you on things, Dave. No, I know, Pamela, I know just how fond Graham and Fiona are of me. They were the ones who introduced you. Oh, I didn't know that, Pamela. I didn't know that until recently, but thank you for telling me so. Thank you. You know, thank you. But to ask you, Pamela, is your 5-week-old grandchild, is that your only grandchild, Pamela, or have you got other grandchildren to go with it? 1920s. We need to see this. It's on Fiona's channel, Matt. It's on Fiona's channel, and if you watch the replay, um, you'll see me in it in one part. No, but I really think but there was a comment. Unfortunately, the comment got deleted. But one of my friends said that I looked sexy in the live stream. Oh goodness. I mean, honestly, it was Michelle Pope who said, it was Michelle Pope who said that I looked sexy. I mean, her comment disappeared seemingly. I don't know why, but it was very funny what she said to about me, and I sort of giggled a little, you know. And then a few others said, in one of them said, but you are sexy. I've never, well, actually, can I say something? Hardly anybody ever considers me to be sexy. And not so many people even think of me as handsome since I gained over 24 pounds of weight. But I used to be considered handsome quite a lot when I weighed 130 pounds back in the day. But since I got to the 154 pounds, not so many people think of me as handsome. Some still do, but not. I don't get it as much often now. But to be honest with you, I'm not really all that bothered whether I get it or not. But never mind, never mind. Oh, he's your fourth. He's the second grandson you have born this year. Oh, how lovely. How lovely learning of this. You have so two of your grandsons are babies, as it so sounds. You have two granddaughters and two grandsons. All are under age 6. It's fun. Oh, they must be cute grandchildren. They're lucky to have you. They're lucky to have you, aren't they? No, no, no. You are definitely. Men look better as they mature. Oh, thank you, Pamela. When they mature, put on weight and that sort of. And next thing you know, you're eventually in for occasionally having a beer at times for some men, but not all. Even though the late Chris Greener never drank, I don't think he drank alcohol. I don't think he drank it a lot. But he said his secret to looking good for his age was don't drink, don't smoke, no, and having no sex. Much to my surprise. Ah, right. But yes, Matt, okay. Now I need to turn my attention to Matt, because you're saying 1920s, we need to see this. Right, okay, Matt. I'll just link Fiona's channel to you. And if you go in the live stream section, Matt, you will see the latest live stream where I've appeared in it, just to say. Hello. Yes, hello again. No, don't worry, Martin. We all know you're still here. We know you're still here, do be assured. Yes, what is the WB, Dave? I'd like to know too. WB, oh, welcome back. That's a good way to shorten it. WB is welcome back. Good way to shorten it. Oh, goodness. Looking very smart. Oh, thank you, Matt. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you for the compliments, Matt. Thank you. Thank you indeed. But, Matt, since you're very keen on vintage organs, have you ever thought about uploading videos featuring vintage organs onto your YouTube channel? Never mind if not, but it's just a suggestion. Just a suggestion to you, Matt. That's all. Didn't Adam Ant say that? Don't drink, don't smoke, why do ya? I don't know Adam Ant, but what Chris Greener said, on the other hand, Deborah, Chris Greener, what he said was his secret to looking good for his age. He said he's not with us now. Chris Greener unfortunately died, just to say, Deborah, but his secret to looking good for his age was don't drink, don't smoke, no sex. That was what he said. He didn't say don't drink, don't smoke, why do ya? It was don't drink, don't smoke, no sex, which was his secret to looking good, not the thing Adam Ant said. But I don't even know Adam Ant, Deborah. Never mind. You always look smart, but I would beg to differ. But I would beg to differ. I've seen a picture of what you look like, Harriet, and actually I think you're very nice looking. You had a very nice flowery dress. I think you said you've got. I think you said I think because you've got a wonderful taste for flowery dresses and skirts, Harriet. No, really. No, Harriet, really, you've got a fantastic. I mean, no, really, you've got a fantastic dress style, Harriet. When you showed a picture of me in the flowery dress, but I mean, don't you get your dresses specially tailored? Sorry if this is going too far asking you this, Harriet. Sorry if it's going too far asking you, Harriet, but do you get your dresses specially tailored? Do you have to have special tailoring done to your dresses since you've got quite a very petite frame? Because I did see what you look like, and I did see your overall very, very petite frame, just to say. He was a star in the 1980s. Oh, okay. Thank you for telling me. Thank you for telling me so, Deborah. Thank you. Oh, we've got another wonderful lady in the chat, Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer. Hello to Jennifer in Canada. Hello, hello, hello to you. You'll wear one on my date night. Oh, no, it is a pleasure. You've got a fantastic dress style, Harriet. You really do. But I'm missing another lady. Oh, she's here. Hello, hello to Deborah Chellingworth in Australia. Hello to you. And Deborah, can I thank you for the compliments towards me when you said I was looking suave on Graham and Fiona's live stream? Oh, I could only too well imagine that you have special tailoring done to your dresses, Harriet. I could only imagine too well, because the real problem, I mean, the real problem with certain clothing sizing in general is that is that they don't always sell clothes in the sizes that in our sizes. There are sometimes there can be several shops or stores in the as they said in the American and Canadian neck of the woods. There are, and certainly for many of certain sizes, where they completely undercater people for certain sizes, many shops and stores, slash stores and all that, which is actually a very sinister issue. It's a real showcase sinister issue when there are stores that completely undercater for people of certain sizes. And can I reference an example? I actually feel quite undercatered for trousers. Fortunately, I never feel undercatered for shirts and jumpers and socks and shoes. Fortunately, I'm never undercatered for those things. Hope everyone has a wonderful. Oh, have you got to go? Take care, Anton. Ta-ta for now. Goodbye, Anton. Do take care. Goodbye for now. I never feel undercatered for blazers, shirts, jumpers, cardigans, or a fleece. Even though I hardly ever wear a fleece, but I'm sure there's a certain type of fleece that would appeal to me, but many don't. But if one wears a fleece, it's certainly no crime in that, and it's up to one's individual attire preference and all that. You know. So and all that. So but it's trousers that I'm very undercatered for whenever the need comes to purchase a new pair of trousers. Like this or not, I always have a hard time trying to get new trousers that fit because most trousers in the shops, whenever I'm going looking for a new pair of trousers, certainly in my style preference, most are always too big for my waist, and that I feel very undercatered for in that way, as one could imagine. No, I always feel very undercatered for. Even online, there can be a lot of 30-inch waist trousers I'm already fully purchased up before I get a chance to buy one. So, could you imagine feeling that undercatered for, despite only having a 30-inch waist whenever you need a new pair of trousers? Get one of that. Oh, goodness. Your weakness is jewelry. Oh, Deborah. I can't think what my weakness is, but now this is going to make the live stream quite fun now, since you mentioned this. Your weakness is jewelry. Okay, now that Deborah's mentioned jewelry being her weakness, does en- does en- does each and every one of you have a weakness over a certain object? Deborah has a weakness over the object of jewelry. Does anybody here in this live stream chat have a weakness for a certain object one has an affinity towards? Only telling the truth. I did look suave, and I always do. Oh, thank you, Deborah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Deborah, for your compliments. Thank you. Oh. No, but one thing regarding Deborah that's so lovely about her. Little did I expect this to happen. Little did I realize this, but Deborah herself has tried her. You know, Deborah herself was trying to make a doll, a doll with a face resembling mine. That was what Deborah herself was trying to do. Deborah Chenningworth, not Deborah Coleman, but Deborah, but Not Deborah Coleman, but Deborah Shellingworth. You have a lot of pretty jewellery in the safety deposit box that are too small, so happy you have three daughters and a granddaughter to pass it all down to. As your parents bought the jewellery for you as a teen, as you were much slimmer. I was much slimmer as a teen too, Jennifer. No, if you'd seen me as a teen, Jennifer, I was very petite. I was very, very petite as a teen, and I was still very petite even when I was 18. I was very, very petite, only up until until 2021. I think you already know this, Deborah, but I used to weigh 130 pounds, which is 9 stone 4 pounds in my neck of the woods and the Australian neck of the woods until 2021. But since 2021, I now weigh 154 pounds, which is a full blown 11 stone. But but there we are. There we are. When your daughter got married in July, your son wore your husband's tux that he had for your wedding and wore cufflinks. No, you did say this before, Jennifer. I remember you telling all of us about this before, about your daughter's wedding in July. I do hope it was a nice occasion, your daughter's wedding in July of 2024. You wish you had the black pook. You have a weakness for crowns. Oh, gosh. Shopping is your weakness and food. Oh, God, food is your. Oh, good. No, I think if we're. Your weakness is craft material and plant seeds. 9 stone. Ah, bloody hell. That is a lot of weight. Grr, early morning. Hello, Dave. 9 stones. Very petite, actually, Dave. 9 stone. This is Dave Bryan, by the way, not Dave in America, who's Savage Dave, but this is Dave Bryan, the classic car enthusiast. But the other Dave, he's the live streaming enthusiast. You love sentimental things like that. How lovely, Pamela. Even though you've got a weakness for animals, reference your cat. Your weakness is women. Oh goodness. Oh goodness, Dave. But I imagine Dave Bryan's weakness would obviously be classic cars. You know. How lovely, Jennifer. How lovely learning of this. You got your wedding dress at the thrift store for $16. Oh, wow. How interesting learning of this, Deborah. But Fluffy, if you're still here, Fluffy in Australia, well, interesting learning that shopping is your weakness, but I really do sincerely hope you don't have a problem trying to find trousers that fit you properly, because that's what I always run into repeatedly every time I need a new pair of trousers when my old ones have worn off or broken up or have worn thin to the point where they're falling apart and need a new pair. I always have such a hard time trying to find a new pair that fit me properly because most shops that I go to don't even cater for men with 30-inch waists. And a lot of 30-inch waist trousers where there are some sold, they're either too short in the leg, they're either too short or they're too tight in the leg because they're often skinny fit. And I'm a regular fit and not skinny fit, however. So I always have a hard time whenever I need a new pair of trousers. I always have a hard time trying to buy a new pair of trousers whenever I need a new pair, if they're worn thin or they're no longer wearable. And that's the problem I always run into. All charity shop finds too. Not to worry, Jennifer. I don't need any new trousers at the moment. I'm fine for now. But it's only when I need a new pair, Jennifer. It's only when I need a new pair. I normally deal with it on my own. I always deal with getting a new pair of trousers on my own, generally, just to say. That's what I always deal with. No, but I normally have to special order my trousers really through no choice of my own. And sometimes it can be quite expensive because even Amazon 30-inch waist trousers, they don't always fit because they're often built for those who are very, very petite or short men. Not always, but sometimes. Whereas sometimes they do cater with a 30 inside leg and a 30 waist, but it's normally for those who are thinner than the weight I am normally. But there we had things. No, but normally I have to buy an already worn but in wearable shape trousers bought off eBay, 30-inch waist that is. Fortunately, I get one that's wearable and that it's already been previously owned, and those trousers they fortunately fit me fine, and that's the only way I can get a new pair of trousers. Is I always buy is I always have to look on eBay and get it in a regular fit. Normally, it's fairly regular sort of fit, and it's always been one that's previously been worn but is wearable and is in good shape. And I purchase it that way. It's the only way. So there we are. There we are. But fortunately, I've never had problems for shirts and socks and shoes and jumpers and cardigans and or coats and things. Fortunately, I don't have a problem with that. I've never had a problem for that. It's just trousers I have problems. Well, I hope you don't have any problems buying trousers, Dave, because I know you're quite because you're quite a small man, as am I. And I don't know why, but it seems like we're nearly entering strangely unusual eras in modern presently times where smaller men are more or less undercatered for and all that. I certainly did, Harriet. Yes, I certainly did. eBay shopping is good. For trousers, most certainly. Fluffy, yes, for trousers or for certain things that you can't find. That if you look for something and it doesn't appeal to your interest in store, you can always look on the eBay and all that. Hello, Martin. We can still see you. Do be assured we can still see you. Don't worry, you are not being elusive, Martin. No worries at all. You don't know UK measurements, but 31 waist. 31 waist. Even though you're a little bit thinner than I, despite being my height, Dave, I only have a 30-inch waist, despite only, you know, even though, I mean, I always have I only have a 30-inch waist, despite being 154 pounds. But I used to be a 29 waist. If I were in the 80s, I would have no problem finding. Yes, I completely agree with you on that. No, I do. Not fun. Me is Me is the t-shirts and jumpers on. I honestly thought you were a small fit, Dave. I thought you were a small fit. Are medium size jeans, but I wouldn't have. I'm 5'8", Dave. That's my height. I'm 5'8". 5'8", 154 pounds. And I think you said you were about my height. I honestly thought you were a size small for shirts and jeans, but waist size, I wouldn't have thought you were in anything bigger than a 26 waist, Dave. I would have thought you were a 26 to 28-inch waist for trousers. I honestly thought you had a smaller waist than what I have, Dave. 150 pounds, so I should just a little bit. I would have thought about 5'6", Dave. 5'6", 5'6" and a half. No, I would have believed 5'6" because I mean, you don't look any different to height-wise to my uncles, Dave, but I have got an uncle who's shorter than you, and he's 5'5". And I have got some aunties shorter than you, Dave. And we've even got some friends here who are shorter than you as well. Even David, he's shorter than you. David Scott, he's 5'4.5". And seeing you both together, he's definitely shorter than you. I mean, I've seen with both of you. Because as you've seen with David Scott, he's a short man. 30-inch mark. But I think I missed some things Harriet says. I need to scroll up. Oh, Pamela, that's very nice of you to have said so. Let's get my subscriber count up even more. Let's all send our friends and family a link to my channel and ask them to subscribe. Oh, you didn't have to, but thank you, Pamela. Deborah Coleman did something similar. Your mother's 5'4", your father's 5'11", so you're in the happy middle. But I do know that you have size 9 feet, Dave. I'm only a size 8, however. Though 5 taller than you in height at 5'8", I've only got a size 8 UK in shoes and feet, which is in EU 42. But you, at a shorter height, about 1.5, 2 inches shorter than my height, you have size 9 UK feet. I do know that. I do know that. You have a 34. Oh my goodness, that's getting to be on the big side. Oh dear. Oh dear, Matt. Oops. No, sorry, Matt. My apologies for making fun of your waist size. Sorry. No, but I'm going to get the telling off. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. Mine in the US would equate to a 9 US men's and 8 UK. Just to say, Dave, mine would equate to a 9 US. Mayo is my surname, Mikey. Yes, it is. You're built like a brick oat house. Oh gosh. Well, having the feet that you've got, which is certainly bigger than mine, it will certainly stop you falling over at your height. No, but there's something Harriet was talking about, which I forgot to answer to. Interesting learning you have Concord cufflinks, Harriet. You wore that at a few C. You wore with a few CT shirts. You love Charles Tyrwhitt. How interesting, Matt. Interesting. You buy some of their men's shirts and get them tailored. Aren't their cufflinks adorable? Oh gosh, Harriet, I wouldn't be surprised. Since looking at your overall petite frame, I wouldn't be surprised learning you need to get your trousers tailored too. But you don't mind your handsome tailor putting his arms round your. Oh, well, you did say you have a crush on your tailor, don't you? You have to get your trousers. You have to have special tailoring done to your trousers too. Oh gosh. Oh goodness. No, but I imagine a lot of trousers sold in the shops really don't cater for your waist size, Harriet. But thank goodness you've got a good tailor. I think, to be honest with you, Harriet, in the future, whenever I need a new pair of trousers, I think I am going to have to go and find a tailor to get to specially tailor them for the waist size for me. You know, I mean, I don't think my waist size is going to get any bigger than it is now. I don't think it could get any bigger at the moment. So unless I go up a waist size, I wouldn't need to. But If I only went up to a 31 waist size, it wouldn't be enough to just get trousers that fit properly for me now. But there you are. There you are. Very accommodating. Lucky for you, Matt. What I did, what I did, what I did, Matt, was when I said that your 34-inch waist is big. I said that your waist size was big. I was like, oh my goodness, that is big. That was making fun of your waist size when that's just your overall bodily proportions. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Taylor Gate. Oh gosh, Taylor Gate. He's very handsome, but you don't think he fancies you the same way. I'll be at least a 36-inch. I'll need to see how big my waist is by the time I'm 50, Harriet. I'll need to see what I'll need to see what waist size I get to when I'm 50. I mean, since I'm turning 20, because I mean I'm 23 now, so since turning 20, my waist size hasn't gotten any bigger since turning 20. I mean, my waist size has gotten bigger since turning 20, but it's so far peaked at a 30-inch waist, and I've been a 30-inch waist since I was 20. Whereas before that, I was a 29 waist, and I had no choice but to have to tighten the belt up on 30-inch waist trousers. I've always worn 30-inch waist trousers, even when I was 18, but I had to fasten the belt up more tightly at that. So, but since I went up a waist size, I haven't needed to fasten the belt up tightly now. Thank you, Martin. Thanks, Matt. Having 5 children did wonders for your waist. I could imagine so, Jennifer. Think it did the same sort of thing to my mother. Because can I tell you something very astonishing, Jennifer? Until my mother was 20, until she was about 20, my mother had a 24-inch waist. Can you imagine a 24-inch waist? Especially for a lady of her height. For a 5'6" lady like my mother, she had a 24 waist. So you could imagine just how petite she would have looked like then. Well, she's still fairly petite as of now. Is Jennifer the woman in the shoe? No, she's not. No, she's not, Martin. No. So you could actually imagine, Jennifer, just how petite my mother would have looked like. I mean, my mother was still really quite petite through her 20s. They normally, she was still really probably, I don't think she could have been anything more than 126 pounds through her 20s. You know, so she was very petite, my mother. She's still fairly petite as of now, but I think now, well, she didn't have a 24 waist after turning 20. I think when she was through her 20s, she probably had about a 25, 26 waist, something like that, until she was about 30 or something or so. I think it was really since she got into her 30s. I think my mother's been around about anywhere between a 27, 28-inch waist since turning 30 odd, something like that. She's still quite petite. She's still fairly petite. A lot of her friends are bigger than her, size-wise. Some are small like her, but many are generally bigger than what she is. And my brother and we're generally bigger than what my mother is, which surprises us greatly, you know. How often do I stream? Normally every week, Mikey. Normally every week, just to say. I don't know. I know Paw Patrol, but I've not seen it, Martin. You don't have a tailor. If something needs changing, you tend to bodge it yourself. Lucky you that you have no problems finding 34-inch waist trousers in the shop, Matt, but you'd obviously have to get it long enough for your long legs. Because since you're 6'2" of height, I think you've quite likely got long legs, and quite presumably got some size 11 or size 12 feet to go with it. But at least you don't have the problem Tommy has, which is him, though he's only 6'3", he's got size 15 feet. So obviously he's going to have a lot of problems finding shoes that fit him. But there we are. But so long as you can find trousers that's at least long enough for your long legs in a 34 waist. Oh, is Anthony here? Hello, Anthony. Hello to you. Oh my goodness, Jody. Wow. You had a 24 waist until you were 60. Lucky you. Lucky you, Jody. Lucky you. One of my friends, I mean, I don't know how old she is. She must be around about your age. Do you know what they say about big feet? Yes, I know, Matt. Big feet, big shoes. Yes, I know that saying. I know that saying only too well, Matt, yes. But I imagine you probably had your trousers specially. I mean, I hope it's not too much asking you, Jody, but did you have to have special tailoring done to your trousers until you were 60? Did you have to have special tailoring done to them? Because I really don't know very many shops that sell 24-inch trousers for men, let alone women, you know. I think my mother can fortunately just about get a trousers in her size, you know, because petite, fairly petite and small as she is, fairly small and petite as she is, um, so many people, particularly in recent decades, have generally, by and large, gotten bigger, especially people my age. No, you actually wear a children's 14. Is that 14 years trousers or a lady's zero? They fit well. Oh, lucky, lucky you. Lucky you. I sadly cannot fit into child-sized clothes now, Jody. Unfortunately not, no. Especially since turning 20, I can't fit into them. Yes, that's Tommy who's got size 15 feet, Tommy Gardner. And I think Nigel's got size 15 feet as well. That's despite only being the same height as Matt, at 6'2". But I think Tommy's mother's only about 5'4", I think, something like that. Now, I remember you telling me the story before, Harriet, that Gordon Ramsay, size 15 feet, and you blushed. You've gained a little more, so you don't wear children's anymore. I can't even wear children's clothes even into my 20s now, Jody. I can't even wear child-sized clothes in my 20s. But I'm lucky you that you could wear child-sized clothes until you were 60. Very impressive, and lucky you. Lucky you, Jody. I think my mother would completely envy you on that. Oh, I quite like some of the old BR diesels, Mikey. I mean, Gordon Ramsay's only about 6'2" and size 15 feet, so it'll stop him falling over, though. It'll stop him falling over if he's got size 15 feet for his height. My friend Stephen, who's only same height as Gordon Ramsay, 6'2", he's got size 13 feet. So though only 1 inch shorter than Tommy, Tommy's got considerably bigger feet than Stephen Magnus, that is. And though only the same height as Nigel, um, Tommy's father, he's got still smaller feet than Nigel. Still have heard back with regards to Paw Patrol, so we'll email them again. Haven't heard back. Not to worry, Jody. No worries at all. No, you're fine, Martin. We're fine. We're all okay. We're all okay. Pamela, you do like Harriet, don't you? No, and I can see you find Harriet funny. I certainly am going to be making you I am making you a Christmas card, Harriet, yes. All I need is you to privately send me your address and I'll post it over to you. And I'll put the cash in it too, the 40 quid that I owe you. Doesn't take a lot to make you blush. Oh goodness, Matt. Oh goodness. Is that a subtle way of saying where's my money? Good question, Matt. Good question. No, I like Pamela. Oh, I love Pamela. I love the two Pamelas, Harriet. I completely, well and truly love the two Pamelas very, very dearly, if above and beyond anything. Found a photo of you and Gordon. You'll have. Please send it, Harriet. Please do send it. Please do. No, but Jody, if you're still here, since you said you had a 24-inch waist until you were 60, and of course my mother um I mean, and my mother had a 24-inch waist until she was about 20. Um, my friend, I think I did tell you before, Jody, one of my friends, she must be around about your age, I think, something like that. She, despite being the same height, well, she used to be about 5'9". Well, she's my height now. Well, taking into account older age, and the same thing happened to Edmund, which he fell victim to. Not always with old age, but namely poor health as a result. I think, namely, both old age and poor health, which he had, and obviously him not being a strong man. She only has a 22-inch waist. My friend, who's my height, she only has a 22-inch waist, Jody, and she must be about similar sort of age to you. I never asked her, but I'm guessing she's either similar age to you, possibly a little younger. But she's got a 22-inch waist. But until she got to a certain age, she had a 21-inch waist. I mean, when she was formerly taller in height, at 5'9", she had a 21 waist, but now her shrunken height of 5'8", she's got a 22 waist. She very tiny. Yes, she's only 112 pounds. She did actually tell me that. Seeing what she looks like, she is very petite. You know, no, very, very petite lady to describe it. Much smaller than my mother, smaller than my own mother. I couldn't imagine even my own mother having a 22 waist when because she was not 24 waist until 820. So, you know, so yes, yes, that is by and large very tiny for sure. Matter reach your mind, Janet. Oh goodness. And I don't know how she'd get her trousers, Jody. I mean, I don't know how she would have gotten her trousers, Jody, but I imagine she probably had her trousers. Imagine she had special tailoring done to her trousers because she's got quite long legs, my friend. She's got quite long legs, my friend. Even though she's my height, she's got longer legs than what I've got. And she said because of her long legs, she had a little trouble getting inside and out of a Trans Spitfire classic car. You did tell me this before, Jody. Yes, you did tell me this before, but gained the last few years. No, I did. You did tell me this before, Jody. I know. I do know. Yes. Hello, Alfredo. Hello to you. Just popped to say hello, yeah, para reaffirm what a great person I am. live broadcasts. And he deserves the best of life. Thank you, Alfredo. Thank you. Thank you, Pamela. Thank you. You've lost 6 pounds since you've been ill. But your mouth still weighs the same. That is humorous. That is humorous. Since you have had your heart condition, you're losing weight. Oh, poor you. Since you're on a very restrictive diet. Oh, poor you, Jennifer. Oh, poor you. My diet's namely very restrictive too. Nothing to do with health, but namely just to maintain good health. A fairly restrictive diet, because after a certain age or at a certain point in one's life, you start to gain weight, and that's happened to me since turning 20, you know. But I'm so sorry hearing you're on a very restrictive diet, Jennifer. I mean, that must be no fun for you whatsoever. And you've been losing weight. Oh no. No alcohol, no caffeine, no salt, no sugar, no fats, no red meat, no pork. Oh gosh, you're really on a diet there, Jennifer. Gosh. I think I saw someone in here who I just missed. I just missed someone who I need to see. Who was it who's here? Hello to you, Janet. Hello, please. Janet, don't you worry about being so late. No worries. No worries at all. You're new to Discord. No worries, Matt. No worries. Well, losing the weight is good, but the hardest part is is only 1 liter of water a day. You have a heart condition since your tailor looks the other. Oh, Harriet, you need to be formally diagnosed in order to say you have a heart condition. You know. No, but thank you for linking my Discord, Jody. Thank you. Thank you. No, Harriet is funny, Janet. She certainly is. But we're only going to give it a few more minutes and then we're going to be finishing things up, okay? We're only going to be finishing things up. And all that. Oh, it's certainly a pleasure, Fluffy. It's certainly a pleasure. You take care. The only one we are missing is Pamela Motto. We're missing Pamela Motto, but though we're missing Pamela Motto, it's certainly a hello to her. It's certainly wonderful having Pamela, Gaza, and all of you here, and Janet too. Yes, yes, welcome, Janet, welcome. Oh, ta-ta for now, Fluffy, ta-ta for now. Well, I'm going to wrap things up now, or fairly shortly. Thank you, Dave. I look forward to having you in the Discord. I've even got Alfredo in the Discord too. Bollocks? Who bollocks? Bollocks. Somebody could say bollocks. Bollocks! Bollocks! As Brian Blessed would do it. Thank you, Alfredo, for your friendliness towards Dave, Anthony, and Harriet. Thank you. Thank you. I'm sorry I didn't check earlier on. Your husband loves the TV program X Flies. You will join it. Yeah. Good, it's alive! Yes! We should send out an ABP for Mrs. Motto ASAP. It doesn't matter when Mrs. Pamela Motto comes on here, Harriet. It's always wonderful for whenever she's here. Same with Mr. and Mrs. Toms, Marcia, that is. I mean, though she and Marcia have been absent, Pamela Motto and Marcia have been absent, it's always wonderful having them on whatever live stream. One can't always make live streams, Harriet. One can't always make a live stream, and that is as truth as things. But thanks all for watching, everybody. We're going to finish things off now. It's time to wrap things up. But do take care, all of you. You're a lonely Pamela here tonight. But How about a hug? I hope the hug helps with helping you feel less lonely, Pamela. I hope the hug helps. I'm the epitome of loveliness. Oh, thank you, Pamela. I wouldn't say good night without giving you a hug. I mean, same, had you met me when I was a little boy, I would have given you a hug good night before going to bed. In a way, because I'm a little shorter than you, Pamela, I could be your little boy in one way or another. I'm both shorter and younger, so I could really be your little boy in one way or another, couldn't I? Thank you, Jodie. It was wonderful having you on here too. Take care, Jennifer. Take care, all of you. No, I know, I know. Oh, you were still here, were you, Deborah? But you were just lurking. I'm not saying good night without giving you a big hug, Deborah. Big hug before saying good night. I would do the same if I was a little boy, had I known you as a little boy. And best wishes to your much loved grandson, your only grandson. But I'm guessing you've got granddaughters too. Thank you, Pamela. Thanks everybody all indeed for watching this very live stream. We've gone about a minute over time, but it doesn't matter too much. Thank you all very, very much, most greatly sincerely, for taking part in this very live stream of mine. You take care, Jennifer. Goodbye, all everybody. Goodbye, and may great happiness be knocking kindly on your doorstep, and may good wishes be bringing you great expectations of happiness, always, whenever it's knocked on your doorstep.